Okay, we're doing Derech Hashem now. We're on 112. Just to know how that works, if you have a book, they show it. It's part 1, chapter 1, and then number bet, which is 2. That's why you have 3 numbers in every segment. This is Hebrew and English. So I'm going to read some Hebrew, some English. Sometimes it take too long. So here we go. Bet. Od tzarich sheyeda. We also need to know shamatzui hazeit barach shemo, that this being, she should be blessed. En amitat mitziut museget zulato klal. And tonight is Baba Sali's yortzeit.
That's tonight.
Zechuto yagen aleinu. So we say, En amitat mitziuto, the truth of his existence is not museget zulato klal. It's not understood by anyone except for him. V'rak ze nodabo. Only this is known about him. Shehu matzui shalem, that he is a matzui is a being. Shalem is complete. Really, the way they translate it is a perfect being. Just means complete, because you have everything. If you have everything, you're perfect. But shalem means like from the word shalom also, we say shir hashirim asher l'shlomo. You know, to he that peace belongs. It's not that he's peaceful. Of course, it means that too, but it means he's complete. He has everything. It's like the circle is complete. It's whole, nothing lacking. Right? Now, mikol minei shelimut v'lo nimtza bo chisaron klal. He has nothing missing in him. Yeah.
How can something infinite be complete?
So we'll talk about it. There's a lot to say. Wait, let's just continue because we're doing this for that. So just to know, it says the truth, en amitat mitziuto, the truth of his existence is what's not known. Now, why talk like that? What do you mean, the truth of his existence? It sounds like just too many fancy words. But what does that mean? So again, the word emet, like we say God is emet, doesn't just mean true. It means real, or reality. God is reality, but it's also that he's real. Just like we said, if you're dreaming of a person, playing basketball, the guy playing basketball is not real. Although he thinks he's real in his own reality, he's real. But the guy on the couch sleeping, he's real. So compared to a dreamer and the guy in the dream is how Hashem compares to us. He's really real. We're all just a figment of his imagination. You see? So we have our own reality, but it's different. It's not like there's him and there's us, and he's just bigger than us. That's how we look at God. But it's not. He's in a whole nother way of being than we are. He's real, and we're not real compared to what real is, you see? We're real compared to ourselves, but not compared to what's really real. You see, so that's what it means. So that's what it means, the realness of his reality, of his existence. That's what it means, you see, because he exists really. So that's what it means, amitat mitziuto. And when we say Hashem Elokim or Elokechem emet, now you know what to think of when we say emet. Now it says no one knows who God is. But how can we say that? We thought Malachim, they're next to God. We don't know who God is, but I thought Malachim know. But not really. Malachim know God in a very interesting way. We all know God really the same way. But what makes a malach higher than us? Because you'll notice in the Yigdal and also in Adon Olam, we say Ein lo guf, Ein lo jakamut, Ein lo dimyon, Ein lo chibur. He has no, Ein lo, everything, Ein lo. He doesn't have this, he doesn't work like that, he's not like that. But you didn't tell me what he does have. He doesn't have a body, you see? He doesn't have a dimyon like his mind, his memory, or his imagination. So what does he have? We don't know. No one ever wrote a poem about that God is this and God is that. They just keep saying he's not this and he's not that. But that's the way to learn who God is. All you can do is say what we have and say he's not like that. So no one knows who God is, not even the highest malach. But what does the malach know more than us? He knows that he's not like him. You see, the malach is on a high level. I don't know. It's on a high level. So for him to say that Hashem is not even his mind, it means he put Hashem even higher. But I can't do that. I can only say Hashem is not my mind. But I can't even imagine that he's a higher mind. But a higher mind can say he's not even like me. He's more than that. So that's why the malach knows more of Hashem than us, because he knows more what to compare him to. You got that or not really? Right. Okay, so they're comparing him to themselves, and they are higher than us. So that's why even though we both know nothing about Hashem, his knowledge of that's why it's funny, his knowledge of what he doesn't know is higher than us. It's like a twist, you see? The malach's knowledge of what he does not know is higher than what we don't know. So it's funny, we could both not know the same thing, and yet he knows it more than us. The malach knows it more than us. You catching that? Okay, good. So let's move on with that. Now it says here, he's a perfect being, which means again, he has everything and he has nothing lacking. So now it says, these things are known to us. I'll just start reading again from the English. From tradition, from the patriarchs and the prophets, meaning we know this because we were told. It says, with the revelation of Sinai, all of Israel perceived them and gained a clear grasp of their true nature. They knew who they were, coming out of Hashem. And then they taught it to their children and generation after generation until today. Moshe told them, these things you saw with your own eyes, and you will teach them to your children and your bnei banecha, your children's children. Now, like we said before, there was knowledge. Remember we said knowledge, and we said this last week. The knowledge, right, dor de'ah. They knew God because they actually saw him. They didn't have to believe. Believe is when you don't see. They were called the generation of knowledge because they had real da'at, not just emunah, like generations after them had, because you didn't see, you just took your father's word for it, and you had to believe. But there was a generation out there that actually had a knowing of God, you see? And when Mashiach comes and we'll see him again, whatever it means to see him, we'll have a da'at back. But now we live, meaning in Har Sinai we saw him once, and we'll see him again. No, Hashem. Yeah, Hashem, right. Yeah, very good.
They just heard.
No, they saw, not that they saw Hashem because he can't see Hashem, he's not a thing, but they saw whatever would represent him in that sense. You know, what it means that they saw. Whatever was available to see, they saw. Okay? Of course, right. So now it says like this. These concepts can also be logically verified by demonstrable proofs. You know, demonstrating. Their veracity can be demonstrated from what we observe in nature and its phenomena. So 2 ways to know the truth. One is you're told at Har Sinai, like we were, and till today, because banecha, bane banecha. Or you can know it by studying the world. You can get to the conclusion that there's a God, just like Abraham Avinu did. He studied the world and he saw how everything works together, and there must be one God making everything happen. So that's what this is saying.
That could prove that Hashem exists.
Yeah.
You can see it through that. And your father's telling you, or from nature. But
right, those are the 2 ways.
The mitzvot are divine.
Right.
How do you see that in nature?
Okay, mitzvot, Abraham Avinu, he also knew how to do all the derabanan. It's not apparent, but it all is in there. Somehow it's logically deduced to do all the commandments by studying the world. We may not know how to do that, but it's all somehow there. But of course, it is a question, like some laws, like Tum'ah and Tahara, you can't really see them at all. So it had to be only passed down. So there was still things passed down, because there was still Adam and Shem and Ever, you know, so Abraham had to learn something. But just putting the whole thing together, that it's one God and all that, I guess he by studying the world, he saw how everything works together, is the main point. We just wonder, can you learn Tum'an Tahara by studying the world? That's a good question. Maybe in Messianic time you would be able to see. And did Abraham Avinu actually see that in there? It's a good question. We're going to have to maybe ask around for that. It's a very deep question and answer. So we say it's clear. It can be derived from this physics and astronomy, and all that basic principles can be derived, and clear evidence that these concepts are deduced. Now, we will not occupy ourselves with this, the Ramchal says, meaning we're not going to go into the sciences to study God. We're going to go into what the tradition was. So this book, Derech Hashem, he's telling you, I'm going to tell you what was said at Har Sinai, not what you can figure out by looking at the world. And that's the end of number 2.